Welcome to Go Home Heat, a wrestling podcast. Me and Justin are here, and I'm going to round up Ray here in a little bit probably, and we're going to talk the sports entertainment version of pro wrestling. We start with Raw. Randy Orton opens the show. Edge has a torn tricep.
That sucks.
And Randy could have put him away at any time, but he made sure he suffered. Randy is the greatest wrestler ever because he won the greatest match. And then Christian comes out. And this turns into Christian being offered one more match, and if you remember, there was a whole...
That was his whole gimmick for a while.
Right.
And was it Randy?
It was Randy, yeah,
yes.
Absolutely. And Randy actually, there was a spot in the match they had where Edge bounced off the middle rope and did Christian would do that every match, just to go over the top and flip the guy. And he did it into an RKO, which was the way Christian's career ended.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that was kind of... Anyway, and so then he challenges him to give him a match at the end of the show, but it would be unsanctioned because Christian's had some concussion issues and he's not medically cleared. And I was fired up. When this happened. Did you like the segment?
I loved the segment. I wasn't really fired up because I knew there wasn't going to be a match because I knew Christian wasn't
it was strange because not that long ago Christian said that he wouldn't. That they were like, well, Daniel Bryan came back and Edge came back, and he says, well, my situation's different. And even still, though, people are talking about maybe he'll have another one down the road. But
he had concussion issues, and that's a different kettle of fish than a mechanical injury that can be fixed or can be improved in some way sometimes.
Right. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I was vaguely hopeful, but I knew that it didn't. An unsanctioned match with Randy Orton just sounds terrible anyway. It sounds like you're gonna jump. It should be unsanctioned. If it's unsanctioned, then Christian really should just hit him with a car in the parking lot.
Ric Flair tried to warn him, sort of. Charlie talks to Angel Garza later on in the show, by the way, and Zelina, and then they wind up with the Owens versus Garza match. Owens gets off to a fast start. Andrade comes out. Zelina gets mad at him because they're bickering back and forth during the match. Andrade distracts, but Garza blows it and walks into a cutter.
Oh, no.
Zelina says, enough of all this mess. You guys work together. And the question here, I think, first of all, Kevin Owens is fantastic. Garza's good. They told a story here.
Mm-hmm.
The question would be, can you, in theory, reboot a faction without breaking that faction up?
I don't know how. I would.
Because we know that Garza's talented. We know Andrade's talented.
Both of them are super talented.
We know Zelina is talented. And in the real world, if you could get these people on the same page,
yes,
they could work together.
Well,
and you see it in actual sports all the time.
Yeah.
But can you do it in the fake sports world? Not fake. In the scripted sports world.
Well, you could if you had somebody who's willing to do that, but I don't know if they're capable of that kind of abstract thought right now.
But why are we going through all this if we're not willing to do that?
Why did we watch a Fuzzy Spider for 8 months?
Do you think for 1 second that was the original plan, a Fuzzy Spider?
I have no idea what the original plan was. I don't know if they had a plan. That's what I think here. I don't know if they've got a plan. I assume
they penciled themselves into a corner.
I fall into the trap of assuming that all of this had some purpose up to a point, when a lot of the times it's just week to week writing. It's like I do something this week and there's a loose connection the next week, but I may redo this whole thing and come with I don't know if there was ever been a driving narrative here that they've been sticking to, or if the narrative has been rewritten 3 or 4 times here.
Right. And
I wonder, like DC resets their universe every few years.
I wonder too, like in a way I'm comfortable with what Rollins does, and we'll get to him in a little bit. because I feel like Rollins has some input.
Yes.
Like Rollins does some stuff that I'm sure he doesn't want to do, but I do feel like he has input.
Yes.
I don't know how much input Zelina Andrade,
I don't think that much.
and Garza probably has none, and I'm not 100% sure how much, even if Garza and Andrade have input,
I don't think they do.
but even if they did, does Andrade really want to be in a faction, or does he want to be a solo star?
Well, and here's my thing. I heard this week that Vince McMahon said something like he sees Garza as like a new Eddie Guerrero, and I'm kind of like, yeah, I could see that in the future. The dude is extremely talented, but you look over there at Andrade. Andrade's one of the best workers I've ever seen. Mm-hmm. The dude is phenomenal. He does everything right. He doesn't make mistakes most of the time. Everything he does to tell a story in the ring is well done. I don't understand why that dude's not. And he's charismatic. He's got everything. And and I'm sure what'll happen is he'll be great now, and like 5 years from now they'll decide, oh my God, look, that guy's really great, and they'll try to push him or something like that, like they did with Apollo Crews and stuff. And
Well, here's the thing though. I'm almost 100% sure I've heard a rumor that Vince thought Andrade was Eddie Guerrero.
I think he thinks every Latin wrestler is Eddie Guerrero.
Or
Vince is so funny.
Or somebody's just continues to throw that name out there for whatever reason. I'm not 100% sure any of these people talk to Vince McMahon.
I don't think they do.
And I get where I can kind of sort of get where both Andrade and Garza would remind you a little bit of him at a young age, because they're both so good, and they're both they both have it.
Yes.
You just have to use them right. You know what I mean? Now Eddie had it more than even at a young, pudgy Eddie didn't pop off the screen like he did a couple of years later, but he still was more talented than everybody else. You know what I mean? But once he got to where there was no roundness in his muscles, it was all he was cut up. He had a self-confidence there where he kind of knew. To me, it felt like, okay, now I know I'm attractive. I know it's not just now the men hate me because the girls like me.
Yes,
you know what I mean.
He could sell that.
Now I've got more than just I can go.
Yeah,
if that makes sense. But anyway, so I could talk about Eddie Guerrero all day. Lashley drew Lana highlights from Backlash. MVP tells Lashley he will get everything he deserves. MVP ain't having the interruptions, and they will address issues now. Lashley has been cheated out of the title he deserves. MVP and Lashley go to the ring.
MVP is killing it, man. He's just...
Mm-hmm. He is. He's doing really well. Now, MVP winds up blaming Lana, and then I think Lana comes out, and then he tells her he wants a divorce. Right?
Yeah.
And it's like... Why? You guys really put us through this whole thing. And you know what, too? Liv Morgan got caught up in all that mess.
Yeah, and here's my thing. This goes back to, again, my point from earlier. There, no way when they sat around scripting this Lana Rusev angle with Lashley in here, was this the end of it?
Liv Morgan going through a whole different feud and now being repackaged into a thing where she's, I guess, going to feud with Natty.
Yeah.
And so we're 3 feuds later. She has nothing to do with Lana.
Mm-mm.
And
well, Lana's she is now because Lana's going hooked up with Natty. That's
true. It was. This was the whole plan.
Yeah. No. What happens when you rewrite crap 50 times?
Well, you know, speaking of which, the Viking Prophets come out, and they have rid the world of evil and are looking for a sequel. And whenever the world needs them, they will reunite like Avengers. And Akira Tozawa shows with the 7'4" cohort ninja.
Yeah, I read his name.
He's not actually Shaq.
No, it's a guy who's a former basketball player though, who's in the Performance Center.
You can bet he is.
I can't. I'm gonna hear somebody else say his name before I try to say it because I only read it. I've not heard somebody say it, and I'm not gonna risk that.
Right.
Because it's gonna be butchery if I try.
I understand.
But he is enormous. He's 7'3", 7'3" or 7'4". I don't know which one. He's well big. He's like 3 inches bigger than the Big Show.
Right. Now, speaking of the Big Show, they do wind up having a match with some of the ninjas, and they go over.
This was ridiculous.
It was. I would expect ninjas to wrestle better than that.
I would expect ninjas to use like weapons and stab people from the shadows before the match even started.
Right. But I don't know. It was a lot. It was a lot.
And Akira Tozawa didn't even wrestle.
Yes, and the Big Show wound up coming. Well, you got to save that.
Why?
Because he's the final level.
Why?
Right. Okay. The Big Show does wind up coming out, right? And kind of goes nose to nose with Tozawa tells his big guy to leave, right? And so then it's...
I don't know why. Again, is this a Big Show promotion? Is that what that was?
I'm not 100% sure what the Big Show was doing on, unless it was the Netflix show or something.
I haven't seen that big ninja dude move yet either.
Well, I'm wondering how well he moves, because if he's 7'4" and he's no longer in basketball, it's not like he retired from basketball. Unless he got injured or something, he can't be that good at it. He's 7'4".
Yeah. What's the old thing? I can teach you to shoot a shot. I can't teach you to be 7 foot tall.
Right.
But some people, and you can't even teach them to make a shot.
Well, or what was it? They asked, Bradley, the over 7 foot tall center. Somebody asked Krzyzewski what he thought of him when he was, I think he was at BYU, and Krzyzewski said, "Well, in the fourth quarter when everybody's tired, he's still 7 foot."
Yeah.
He's still just closer to the basket than everybody else is,
I can
right?
put the ball in.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And so this was a lot to take in, and I will see where it goes from there. Actually, we're not done on this show with the Viking Profits. Seth, Charlie talk. He's headed to the ring. Dominic is here. I can sense his presence.
It's called Twitter.
There's a disturbance in the force.
It's called Twitter. He said he was going to be there. His force sense is pretty weak because he totally falls for it later.
All right, so Seth is walking to the ring. We come back. Christian says he doesn't know what he's going to do. It does seem to me like a bad idea that he will fight him, but it's Messiah time. Seth
is this where he talked to the Big Show? Or was that where he talked to Charlie?
I think that was a Charlie, and then Big Show's coming.
All right.
Okay, Messiah time. Seth is basking in his glory, and Ray is on TV, and they banter back and forth. Ray's
Don't you touch my son!
Yes. But then, Seth was so good in this segment, and then Dominic jumps him from behind, and Seth had asked Dominic to join the club, and if he wouldn't join the club, then he would be sacrificed. Dominic jumps Seth, and then he gets out of dodge before
he dodges all the
apostles,
the disciples.
Yes, and then he gets out of there before he can get beat up. So there's more to come here. It's not over. It was interesting to me that this was one quick, short segment. I thought for sure this would be more of the show, which tells me they're really diving into a long play here.
Yeah. Have you seen? Has Dominic wrestled? Do you know this? I don't.
I've never seen him wrestle. I think we've seen him do a move or two here and there.
Yeah. But are we setting him up to be a talent?
Oh, I think for sure when this is over, he's a wrestler.
Think he'll have to go to NXT?
I think he's going to be in Seth's faction.
Wow, that's a big jump. That's jumping from the... I don't know if I'd want to be him then. Dude, that's a lot of ways that can go. WWE's notorious about moving people into positions. Seth there to take care of him. That's the best thing that's there for him, because I don't think Seth would do anything to mess him up, and he's got two really good hands around him. If he sits there and can learn from those three dudes in like an intensive
Right, but when he gets in the ring, if he's not pretty good, there'll be a huge drop off.
Yeah.
Because Theory's really good, Buddy's really good, Seth's really good.
Yeah.
You know. But the other thing is, though, I mean, if you're going to put a guy in a faction, being in a faction with a guy that owns a wrestling school might be okay.
Mm-hmm.
But,
Yeah.
You know, I mean, that's like you said, though, that's tough. It's more likely he gets a match with Seth, and then they decide whether or not.
Uh-huh.
Because you don't have to keep, you know,
Yeah.
as we've noticed, they are willing to change course. Oh, boy. R-Truth, MVP. Lashley go back and forth. Drew comes up, and somehow R-Truth manages to talk MVP and Lashley into a double title match.
Man, R-Truth is master of manipulation. Those two didn't see that coming. What? That was hilarious.
We have a chance to win both titles. Cool.
R-Truth is a treasure.
He is.
I will never get away from that.
Right. He is. He is. And like you said earlier, MVP and Lashley are doing well, and Drew doing a little bit of the Dean Martin there was good.
They let Lashley talk more this week than I think he's talked in a whole year.
I think he feels comfortable talking with MVP there too.
Yeah.
I think this has really been good for him. Okay. Then we wind up with Peyton and Billy Kay versus the Wait, they are there. Peyton and Billy Kay are the Icons.
Yes. Versus
Liv Morgan and Natty.
Yes.
And Natty gets knocked out of the ring, and Liv takes the beating, and she winds up. Morgan does at some point get a basically 5 count that doesn't get counted, and then the Iconics pull out the win, which is what happens when you have heels and faces. And they want their title shot, which I believe they're going to get. I'm interested in this program.
They get it next week, Monday.
I do like that they're finding something for Lana to do that doesn't have to do with Bobby, because the backstage segment will be later, where Natty kind of chews out Liv, and then what do you mean?
Yeah,
you were the one who I was out there wrestling while you were laying down on the outside of the ring. What are you talking about? So then they're going to wind up having a problem, and then Lana comes in and thinks you think your night's bad.
Yeah. So, I like Natty as a heel better than I like her as when they give her serious heel work and not goofy heel. She can do really good.
Well, also, she does have a right to look at the roster and say, I'm a better wrestler than most of these people. And I've been maybe not the best wrestler in the company, but number 5 for a decade. Mm-hmm. And there's no reason why I'm not in the title picture more often. And whenever you have put me in the title picture, it's always almost felt like
a goof.
Yeah.
A one-off.
Right. You know, and so I get where she can legitimately act like she's jealous of everybody around her and furious about that, and I like that part of her because she can go.
She's one of the best.
Yeah, absolutely. The Big Show, like you said, tells Randy.
Big Show.
Big Show been in the locker rooms with both Christian and Randy. He understands everything. He says, "Hey, you know, Randy's not challenging you for your benefit. He wants to hurt you, and he's created a scenario where he can hurt you anyway, and he can do any degree of dastardly things to you, and nobody will care because it's unsanctioned." Then, of course,
I don't know if that's how laws work.
He managed to get an acquittal before the crime.
Yes. I don't know if that's how it works. Since it's an unsanctioned match, that's technically just a fight. So technically that's assault. And you're filming it. I'm just saying.
And then Christian's like, "So you wouldn't fight him?" And he was like, "No. If he said that to me, I'd kill him."
Yeah.
But then he holds his fist up, and it's the same size as Christian's head.
It's like, but I'm me, and you're you.
You're you. You know what I mean?
And there's a certain reality here.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, boy. But Christian is going to wind up fighting him, and we're going to get to that more. MVP is looking to help Apollo out. This was an interesting scenario because Apollo says, "I'm not for sale." And he says, "Looks like, you know."
It was kind of a generic good guy speech sort of thing, but which really highlights what he did later in the match. I really liked.
Absolutely. Let's skip to it. Apollo wrestles Benjamin, and Shelton tries to cheat in the win. And this was a good little back and forth. But then Apollo does put his legs on the rope to win.
Oh, he did this neat little thing where he did the roll up on him and then hooked his arm on the rope using the rope. It was slick. It was away from the ref. It looked good. It was very well done.
And a little bit of a nod and wink to MVP.
Uh-huh.
And
like,
so
I don't need you to teach me how to be a heel or cheat or whatever.
Does he slide in?
Clever.
But does he slide in?
I think that puts him more in the lines of maybe MVP and him end up together at some point, which I think would be wonderful for Apollo. I would love Apollo Crews as a heel with that big smile on his face, like in those moves, dude. And you got MVP, you know.
And there really is not a reason why he shouldn't feel arrogant.
Oh, dude, he's
a magnificent presence in the ring.
He's amazing.
Yeah. Okay, so then we get the Master Ninjas. Coming up on R-Truth, Akira Tozawa would like a 24/7 title shot. I believe one ninja had a referee shirt on.
I saw that.
Okay, just in case something jumped off. R-Truth said he was going to get his Jaden Smith on, which was an interesting callback.
Yes.
Of all the karate figures in history.
Yes,
he calls Jaden Smith. Yes, absolutely. But, okay, so Drew scares him off.
He learns Kung Fu in that movie and not karate. I'm just going to say it.
Okay. Okay. But R-Truth has got to make things right because Drew's basically like, I got to have you serious here because my title's on the line. This is crazy. And R-Truth's like, I'm going to go make this right. And so then R-Truth goes to the powers that be and does make it right by only putting Drew's title on the line and not R-Truth's.
Yes.
Which, I love it.
I love it. R-Truth... Man.
And then R-Truth says, trust me, after I've managed to somehow go from my titles on the line to our titles on the line to your titles on the line without a match.
Yes.
Wonderful. Viking Profits.
What if R-Truth really is the greatest heel in all of WWE and he's like manipulating everybody behind the scenes? That'd be the greatest reveal ever.
It was me all along, Austin.
It was me all along. It's truth all along. You want to know the truth?
Dude, they could totally recreate that. They could have Austin come on and be like a guest GM for one episode.
Yes.
And have R-Truth
come out. Yes.
They could totally do that. Okay.
I would do it.
Yeah. The Viking Profits now are trying to figure out how on earth could two groups of wrestlers settle a tied score of anything you can do, I can do better. And the voice of reason of this episode is the Big Show. Because he's told Christian that Randy's going to basically kill him. Yeah. But go ahead and fight him, I would.
Yeah.
And now he's telling them, well, what you could do here, you could wrestle.
That's a crazy thought.
Okay, I know we've spent a month with squids in dumpsters and fighting ninjas and
telling Ivar he's cute.
Throwing axes. Finding out that does Ivar shoot like Larry Bird?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay. Now, maybe we could wrestle a match.
That's just crazy enough to work.
Okay.
Lord.
So, that's what they're planning on doing, and then they do some dancing, which is, of course. Lastly, MVP, Truth and Drew for Drew's title, and we do actually get a match.
And it was a good match. I enjoyed it.
It was. And R-Truth winds up, Drew gets the Claymore, then tags in R-Truth for the, what was it, Frog Splash? Yes.
Supposedly assisted Frog Splash.
Right, because R-Truth needs help jumping high.
Yeah.
Not doing splits,
no.
Flips,
no,
spin kicks,
no,
but jumping.
That is his weak point.
Yes. Anyway, so they win, though, which is great. And Christian gets some advice from Flair. He says, just don't do it. Just don't. Whatever you do, don't go out there and do it. And he should listen to Rick.
Listen to Rick. That was weird. Yeah. but-
Actually, you said it almost the same way Rick was saying things that entire episode.
Yes. I was not mocking Ric Flair. That was just bad English.
That just was a coincidence.
Yes.
That you wound up mocking
Ric Flair.
without mocking Ric Flair. Bailey and Sasha talk. Iconics interrupt. And then they say, well, first, Bliss and Nikki interrupt.
Yes.
Then the Iconics interrupt from the big screen.
Mm-hmm.
And they say, but turn around. And when they turn around, they get slapped upside the head. We have a little bit of a fight. Sasha and Bailey head to higher ground. Asuka versus Nia Jax in a rematch of the Backlash match.
I think...
And we do have a little bit of a match right here. Nia winds up getting mad, and she pushes the referee down.
Which immediately should have been disqualification. The match should have been over.
But the referee does the long play, and when Asuka gets her for the roll-up, we get the quick 1, 2, 3 count, right?
Yes.
The referee knew this was coming.
This was dumb.
Okay.
I didn't
Now, you don't like
it.
the way she was booked. Asuka, your champion, was booked here.
2 nights in a row. She wins by DQ, and she wins on a fast count.
Right. So basically, what we think they're trying to do is get Nia out of the championship picture without her staying strong.
Yeah, well, without her looking weak, because she hasn't lost because she's lost. She's lost because she was out of the ring too long. She lost because she pushed a ref and got a fast count on her. She hasn't lost. I've already seen Asuka beat her legitimately. I watched the NXT product. Vince should check it out. It's good. It's a pretty good show sometimes. I heard he did look at it. We find out later because somebody puked in the ring. I'm pretty sure that was Vince. But
We'll get there.
I'm just saying, Asuka should not, I'm sorry, Nia Jax gets protected so freaking much.
Yeah.
And I don't understand it.
Now,
You're ruining her.
We're going to move on because Orton is talking to Charlie, and he says, do you think that Christian is a legend? Which of course harkens up that he is
The Legend Killer.
right.
Which is one of my favorite little taglines ever.
Absolutely. And then Joe points out that pride makes fools of wise men.
Oh, does. Oh, dude, Joe.
Joe's the best thing on the show.
Let's stop
anyway.
for 2 seconds here and give Joe the richly deserved credit he's earned. He's amazing on the...
He's by far the best commentator they have in the company.
Yes.
By far. It's not even close right anymore.
He's just killing it.
Yeah,
He's
absolutely.
so good at staying serious on the match, but still saying funny stuff every once in a while. But when he says it, he doesn't constantly jabber at you. So when he says something, it has impact.
Absolutely.
And he's always on point with what's going on in the ring and how he talks about psychology of things and why this person is doing this and why it makes perfect sense. And
He's the best.
He's great.
He's the best. And so then we do get this match, and Christian is going to fight him. And Christian comes out, and Ric Flair interrupts because Rick's going to try to talk him out one last time. And Rick instead...
Speaking of taglines, what did they call Ric Flair?
The dirtiest player in the game.
I seem to... Didn't he used to be in a faction with Randy Orton?
Yes.
Did he?
He did.
What was that called?
Evolution.
Evanescence. Oh, Evolution. Yes.
Evolution.
Yes, that happened.
Evolution is a mystery. Yeah.
Christian,
Yeah.
you're an idiot.
He is an idiot because he gets the famous combination of Ric Flair's forearm to the nuts and Randy Orton kicking him upside the head for the win. Randy feels bad.
Oh, that was my favorite part right there.
Randy, okay, first of all, this segment was done perfectly.
Everything,
Second of all, Randy questioning why you made him do this to you. I can't believe this is your fault.
Mm-hmm.
It's perfect.
Mm-hmm.
And we have Randy going forward. We have a reason for Edge to have to come back, even though he's lost with the Terra if he wants to.
Mm-hmm.
If we want to send him into anything else with anybody else,
Yeah, in the time being.
it looks troublesome for whomever winds up in.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see if Christian winds up back on the show next week, or if they find something new for Randy, because he's a legend killer now, and I don't see a lot of legends on the product yet.
Yeah, if Mick Foley shows up, something bad's happening to him.
Right. I was wondering, who do you put him in a program with that's on the show?
That's a legend.
Unless Cena comes back. Which I've never heard that rumor. But, I just... So, do you bring Hunter back for a one-off?
I mean, Big Show talked smack last week.
Big Show
But
talk.
hasn't he already done that to Big Show? Hasn't he legend kill?
He's already done that to Christian, too.
Yeah.
And Edge. So, But, okay. But we're going to move on. Now, you enjoyed the show.
I did.
It was fun. It was fun. I like ninjas.
Ninjas are great.
All right, now on to NXT, our favorite show of the week. Generally speaking, this one was written by Vincent Kennedy McMahon, if you believe David Meltzer.
Yes, the four Davids. I don't know if I believe he wrote it. I believe that you could see his pudgy little fingerprints.
Yes, or somebody saw a show and just assumed that he was involved because it was a little different than other ones.
Entirely possible.
Yes.
All three things are possible.
And improbable.
Yes.
Tag title match, Breezango versus Imperium. Tyler and Fandango. Fandango comes out as Fabio.
And Prince Pretty comes out as Marsupial.
Yes.
I want the Fabio. And then they had a remix of Imperium song, which I cannot remember, which I'm not going to be fancy and say I remember which classical song it is, but it's awesome. They had a remix of it. It was great.
And the match was great.
The match was great. I didn't expect them to win. I never thought that was going to be the ending, but they didn't lose they lost in a strong way because Indashir came out.
Indashir came out, as did
Lorcan and
Birch. You wind up with all kind of chaos. And in the confusion, Fandango, I think, winds up just getting confused to who's the legal man and pins the wrong guy, which leads him to.
Well, I think there was a pin while he was looking outside. The ref saw a pin that he never saw, or something like that.
And you know what's been a revelation to me with this little comeback of Breezango? I forgot how good a wrestler Fandango is.
He wasn't when he first got there, and that gave us a bad taste in our mouth. But he worked really hard.
He's fantastic.
Yeah, he's gotten way better. Well, he's been hanging out with the guys, one of the better ones in the business too.
Yeah, Tyler Breeze, again, a guy that owns a wrestling school.
Yeah.
Who would have thought he'd be a good wrestler? But I loved all of this.
It was a little busy, but it wasn't bad busy.
I think the point we're making is, hey, we've got a strong tag team division. And they get stronger here. Now, as of this, if you listen to and follow the internet community, there's a bunch of stuff going on with said Patrick Clark. We don't know what's going on there, so I'm just going to tell you what happened in this episode where Velveteen Dream, who is Patrick Clark in real life, is sitting on a couch, and Loomis...
Dude, that was... Dexter Loomis is great.
Yes. He sneaks up behind him and slides a picture, and Dream says, I'm a solo act. This is some kind of a misinterpretation. Loomis was the best part of this.
Yes.
Loomis is beginning to, without saying a word, become the best part of the show.
Yeah.
He's creepy, he's weird, and he is actually able to draw.
Yes.
Like a cartoonist.
Yes, that's what my favorite part of the whole thing is. Those are all,
it is a unique talent that shows a side of this man that we're never going to get to see because he just plays the creepster.
Uh-huh.
But it's wonderful.
Yes.
It's wonderful that it exists. Okay. So, but now, when you think about this, you've managed to put another... If this becomes a tag team, now you have another tag team. So now you're about 5 deep.
Yes.
And you've only got a 2-hour show, so that's pretty good.
Uh-huh.
And now Damian Priest versus Killian Dane. I liked the match. It was kind of a bruising thing. Did you...
I did. I like Priest, man. I'm a huge Priest mark now. I'm really starting to... I didn't realize how much weight he had lost from when he was Punishment Martinez, but he has slimmed up.
He's quick right now,
He's
too.
very fast. His kicks are excellent for a guy his size.
I love Dane, too.
Yeah, Dane is so good.
And so we wound up with a good little match, and Priest goes over clean. Now, they did have him sell. I thought this was interesting. They had him sell an injury to his back from the fall he had 2 weeks ago. And it's not common for a heel to sell an injury about being tough in a match with a bruiser.
Oh, he's not a heel anymore.
And go over.
He switched when he smacked old Cameron Grimes in the face, and he gave the whole, this wasn't about winning a match, this is about sure. It changed the dynamic of his character just a little bit. I'm here to have...
Which was why he sold the back injury this whole match. Because now we're starting to now they want you to begin to see he's a tough guy and all that. Okay.
Well, yeah, and I like the character of, if they keep this up, of I'm here to be part of great stories.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I will, if I have to create them, I will. You know, I like it.
I did too. And he goes over clean. Aliyah versus Zia Lee with Robert Stone drunk on the side. And Aliyah wins when Robert Stone throws up all over the ring. That's a distraction. Is there anything positive you want to say about this? This is where they assume Vincent got involved.
Well, those two should not have been in the ring with each other. That was... I'll start with the technical side of it. Both of those girls are too green. You're hurting both of them. That's a match you have in the Performance Center when nobody's around. You put those two... If you want those girls to be big time, you don't put them out there with each other to really showcase the deficiencies in their game at this point.
Mm-hmm.
And then the draws segment comes out, and
just so crazy. Okay, so let's get on to something I liked.
Yes, let's
Timothy
do that.
Thatcher torturing his students.
Thatcher.
So tell me this: were the submissions he was putting the guys in legit?
I mean, a Fujiwara armbar, yeah, that works. If you got
the way he was showing it to him, though.
I mean, yeah, pretty much. Well, that's catch wrestling stuff too.
Yeah.
I mean, it involves a lot of getting people into positions, but if you know what you're doing and you're really good at it and you catch them slow put, and it's having so many different holes in your arsenal that no matter where they go, you got something for it. So sometimes it looks like the guy's like, oh, this dude's like 6 steps ahead. And he is he's trained himself to be able to do something from almost any position. So no matter where you run, I got something for you.
Is it kind of cool that they penciled in some Submission Holds 101 along with a little bit of comedy and where he can go?
And those are pro wrestling submission holds mostly.
Yeah.
You know, or wrestling.
But he's got more coming.
Yeah.
I did like that, you do it like this, it hurts. Then you can do it like this, and it really, really hurts as the other guy whines and complains and groans.
And he showed just terrible teaching, stuff because he didn't respect the tap or anything. But it was hilarious. It's like, that dude's over there respecting.
Well, I think we were paying homage to Stu Hart.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Stu Hart did not believe in a tap.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, was he really hurting those guys? No, he's very good at what he does. But was he showing off really cool stuff? Yes, I think so.
Absolutely. Okay, Undisputed Era is trying to get Roddy out of this weird headspace, so they go to Kyle O'Reilly as a therapist, which Roddy is so disturbed right now, he can't figure out that a guy in his faction has got a hat on and is now his therapist.
Yeah, and speaking with a terrible accent.
Then they decide that...
They're going to give him a Rorschach test, which was... hilarious.
Right. Then they decide they're going to put him in a trunk to help him.
Exposure therapy.
Yes. I'm having trouble wrapping my head around. I'm actually kind of on Roddy's side here.
Yes, that was stupid.
I don't think the fear of being in a trunk is something that anybody should be like, what do you mean you don't like being in trunks?
Yeah. Who does like being in trunks?
Why are we wasting time here? I'm enjoying it.
Yes.
The ride is very fun.
Yeah.
How we've decided any group of people, whether they be friend or foe,
yes,
tells me I need to get into a trunk.
No.
Why would I want to get in a trunk?
No. Never in my life, and I'll admit to have talked some people into getting into trunks on occasion. And then I closed the trunk and drove them around in a parking lot because it was funny. And these, and you're in high school, and if you can talk somebody into getting into a trunk, it's not going to turn out well. for anybody. I'm just saying.
Wait. You've actually... Yeah, really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, dude.
Why would you... What?
That's about it. We couldn't fit in the trunk.
See, that gives me a whole new outlook on your high school. on you in general. Like,
Well, I wasn't going to beat him in a fight.
I put you above all this, Justin.
Oh,
And
he
now
was
here we
bigger
are.
than me.
Yes. Yes.
I wasn't going to fight him straight up.
Yes, sir. Put him in a trunk.
I did not put him in the trunk. He put himself in a trunk.
Jedi mind trick.
I'm just saying. I in no way physically touched him before he got into that trunk. I did close the top of the trunk once he was in the trunk. But
That is... Wow. Okay, so then Mackenzie Mitchell interviews Cole about this hourglass, and Keith Lee walks up and says he will end Cole's reign, not Cross.
oh, he breaks the hourglass, dude.
Right, and Ray picked right up on the symbolism.
Mm-hmm.
It says the future's now.
Time's up.
Yes. Yes, that was cool.
I liked it too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Ray was dead on that one.
Right,
That's good.
So Cole heads to the ring. Cross isn't worth my time. Lee shows up. Then Johnny shows up. And then Finn shows up. And
What a great bunch of people in the ring.
They kind of flexed their muscle with the tag team, and because the last couple of weeks they've been showcasing the women's division a little bit, and like you said, maybe they should have put the girls in there with somebody else, but they did put women in the ring this week that weren't the marquee matchups.
Mm-hmm.
What they did flex their muscle on was, though, they showed you how much talent they have in the men's division and tag team wrestling, and that's one thing they did for sure. Now, so we're gonna get, of course, Sunshine William Regal shows up, and we're gonna
Love him.
Yes, we're going to get maybe the greatest general manager in the history of general managers.
I can argue that point and not feel bad about it at all.
Right, and so we're gonna get Gargano, Finn Balor, Keith Lee. Winner faces Cole for both belts.
That's just awesome.
Awesome. Yes, yes.
So do we think we're going to have... All right, since we're right here at the beginning, who's your call for the first win?
Keith Lee. Keith Lee's going to have both belts.
You think Keith Lee... So you're going to go straight Keith Lee both belts?
Mm-hmm. I think Keith Lee's going to have both belts, and I don't know which one Cross is going to take off of him.
Does Cross get involved with this stuff? Or does he wait and take out the... Because he's got a match next week.
I would...
Or I hope he does.
I would put... He's going to fight Bronson, because Bronson challenges him later in the show. I would go with him winding up with Gargano somehow.
Ooh, I like that.
And then... Because I would have him go through Gargano, Finn... Lee, or Gargano, Finn, Cole, Lee.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Because I want all of those matches. That's the reason I want them.
Yeah.
I want all of those
right,
matches.
because if you skip one, we can't go back.
Yeah.
So, yeah, exactly. And I want it in that order because that feels like Cole's not better than Finn, but Cole's spot as at that point, just having been a 380, 90-day champ makes him the...
You've also got, and even Cole referenced this, I love his Bullet Club reference. Mm-hmm. Once again, we got a situation where you got there first, but you got there first, but I got there better.
Right. Absolutely.
I came in later and took what you did and made it cool again.
Yeah, absolutely.
So they might split off, and then that gives you Cross and Gargano first, and then, like you're saying, we could,
Let's get all of them. I want to see all those matches. Absolutely. And
I'm greedy.
Yes, absolutely. Now, Dakota Kai with Gonzalez. Caden Carter with... Who was out there with Caden Carter?
Was it Kenton Zero? Or was that?
Yes, Kenton Zero. That's right.
The American Ninja.
Because she... Oh, my God. The match was not much. Dakota's fine. Caden's fine. Like you said, they're a little green to be fighting each other. And I think the whole point of this was to put over Kai as a tandem, heel tandem. Mm-hmm. Poor Katz runs and jumps on Gonzalez. Gonzalez catches her and throws her 4 feet into the apron. Mm-hmm. And that was the most important thing we got to see because, Kai has a nice little Koji clutch.
Koji clutch?
Yeah, which worked good. And that was fine. I think they got their point across.
Haha, that was clever.
Ha. But Mercedes Martinez is coming back. So that is good because now we're putting another worker in the fold.
Very much.
Because we could have used her in either of these matches.
Oh, yeah.
Problem is she probably can't lose in either one of these matches.
No.
Unless Dakota cheats.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So that's probably the best. Okay, so Bronson Reed comes out and has a squash match with Leon Ruff.
Leon Ruff.
Love him.
Jobber to the stars. Love him.
The modern day Rusty Brooks.
Yes.
And he is killing it in this role.
He's like Pineapple Pete of WWE.
Yes. I think in his contract is an ice bath.
Oh my God. I hope so. I hope so.
And then Bronson calls out Cross, and that'll be fun if nothing else because, first of all, I like Bronson. Big, strong guy.
And it gives you a chance to show off the fact that old Cross can hit that Saito suplex on any human being. Go back and watch him hit it, because I've been like catching up on, because I was never seeing the guy very much, so I went on the internet and I've been catching up on him and checking out a lot of his matches and stuff. Like when he did that to Falabala, that's a lot of man to move around, and he doesn't. He's really good.
Absolutely. Santos Escobar comes out with his crew. Drake Maverick said, "You fooled me once. Shame on you. Fool me twice. I'm going to walk out to the ring where you have 3 people ready to jump me. Shame on you."
Yeah, that was brilliant. And he even admitted, it's like, you got, more guts and sense. Well, yeah, you should listen to those people because that was dumb.
Yeah, so they put the beat down on him, which he had coming.
Oh, yeah, he did.
Anytime you want to walk into... First of all, I don't know that any form of a non-sanctioned match, Drake needs to be anywhere near Santos Escobar. Much less Santos and his 2 buddies.
No.
But I'm excited about the faction.
Phantom Driver off that thing under the table was pretty...
brutal. His butt hit the table.
Yes.
Drake hit the floor.
Dude, it's straight up.
Poor Drake, dude.
Okay, I'm here now.
You're here.
Go.
I've been sitting quiet this entire time, but dude, it reminded me of the most viewed episode of TNA ever when Bubba Ray Dudley powerbombed Dixie Carter through a table. It was scheduled. People knew it was going to happen, and it became the most viewed episode in TNA history. Bubba Ray Dudley completely missed the table, and Dixie Carter got powerbombed on the mat.
Wow. I did not ever see that. I'm going to have to go back and watch that now.
Pull it up. It is amazing.
Do we think that was an accident? Because I'm going to go with no.
No, I'm sure she still owes him money. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's like...
We're done that to Paul, too.
He's like, before we go out here, just curious, is it payday?
Yeah.
Payday's next week. I got this guy, Billy Corgan. He's going to maybe come in and shoot us with some money. Payday's next week. Okay. Well, we're going to go do that spot where I put you through a table.
Yeah. So I ain't going to hit you through the table.
Don't worry. Mae Young went through it fine.
Yeah, she did.
Because she went through the table. Not on the mat.
Actually, I want to say that was one of those where he took care of her pretty good.
Oh, dude, he hit first.
Yes. I mean, as much as you can take care of an 80-year-old.
That you're power bombing off of a stage through a table. Come on. Great heel moments in history, folks.
The toughest, Bubba Ray will say every now and then, the toughest man I've ever been in the ring with. Mae Young.
My favorite Mae Young story is somebody said something to her that she didn't like, and she said, "Pull your zipper up when you're talking to a lady, son." And that he looked down, and that's when she hit him with the wrist uppercut right under his chin and knocked him slap out.
Mae Young, yes. Okay, Sasha Banks and Bayley versus Shotzi and Tegan, and this was great.
It was.
They have multiple tag team. They both do combo moves well together. They go in and out of it. This is the whole reason why you put a belt, why you create a belt where they can go from show to show to show and wrestle. You can create rivalries and you can give kids a rub.
Yes.
Shotzi and Tegan just went toe to toe with 2 of the 4 horsewomen.
Mm-hmm.
They
look good
great.
doing it.
Sasha right now is wrestling on a really high
She's
level.
so good. Dude.
Yes, I mean
so good.
the finish of this match. Okay, Shotzi winds up with Sasha in a submission or a roll-up style pin, and there's a distraction. Bayley hops in, flips them over,
Yeah.
which puts Shotzi in position to be in Sasha's
Bank statement.
bank statement. We get the tap out and the win, and Bayley and Sasha begin screaming and hollering about how great they are, and out of the sky, due to camera angles, drops your
Io.
NXT Women's Champion Io
Slaying
Shirai
it.
with a drop kick, kicks one into the corner, throws the other one into the other corner, and runs. So you were saying how fast she is.
She's quick.
She's like a bullet.
She was fast, and she didn't even like go off the rope a second time.
No.
Because she was just like running, like she was just running.
Yeah.
Double knees to both. They leave, and then she does the springboard back into the ring and another flip just to show you she can do it. And it's her ring, her ring. We go to credits. This is why you do this. This is why you have this style belt. And you've just put over Shotzi Tegan.
Mm-hmm.
And I read this online, and I know you're going to agree with it. Sasha and Bayley just did more for the women's division than Charlotte did when she was NXT champ.
Oh, easily. Easily.
I knew you would agree with that. But either way,
Did Sasha ever have to look weak against any of them? I mean, not Sasha. Did Charlotte ever have to?
Dude, you forgot the biggest
yeah,
part though.
right. That's what.
Sasha Banks took a bad head bump on the German suplex by Io. It did not look great.
By Io.
By Io.
Okay.
Yes. It did not look. It looked bad in the way it's supposed
Was
to.
it by
look
Io
bad.
or was that Shotzi that did her like that?
I think it was Io. I think both of them did one.
Okay.
No,
I thought
think
that Shotzi got her where she just dropped her right on her head on one.
Shotzi
Sasha
did
seems
that
to
too.
be built
Yeah.
of rubber.
Yeah.
She takes rough bumps pretty doggone well. Anyway, this was a great episode, right?
Oh, I loved it.
Okay, good. Good.
Except for puking in the ring.
Let's move on to SmackDown.
Oh, I wish I got to hear you guys talk about.
Renee Young. And we're going to present AJ Styles with a belt and lights for those who work
We're on
hard,
SmackDown now, by the way.
Yes.
not for those that wait for the handouts. Renee isn't qualified to put a belt around AJ's waist. Daniel shall do this.
Yes.
And boy, oh boy.
AJ Styles is so good as a heel.
Daniel did well too. here.
Daniel
Once
did
he
a great
got the mic,
counterpoint.
it said, Gulak deserves a shot. Enter Matt Riddle.
Well, he said, what did AJ say? There's nobody here, or something like. What he gave the old line that you knew somebody was about to come out to.
Exactly. And enter Matt Riddle. And then they wind up saying, what is it? You're the
face that runs the place. I'm the bro that runs the show.
Yeah, and then you're going to wind up with a match, and boy, howdy.
What a match.
It's weird, too, because, almost always you would save Matt Riddle, AJ Styles for... And again, I get it.
Non-title.
You're online. You're thinking, what's going on with Matt Riddle? Look, we don't know. So we're going to talk about what happened on TV.
Yeah.
And Matt Riddle is a fantastic in-ring talent, and you think we're going to save this for a pay-per-view the first time you do, and they don't do that. It's a non-title match. They go at it, and AJ Styles wrestled Matt Riddle's match.
Mm-hmm.
It was all on the ground. There was no...
AJ showed off his striking. Used
Absolutely.
submissions.
And it worked.
Yes.
It was fantastic. There's a part, though, where AJ pushes Daniel Bryan, and then he says to Daniel, go ahead and ruin this kid's moment.
I saw that. It was so good. It
Right.
was so good, and the fact that
Punch me in the face.
Yeah, he
Ruin
was
this
trying to
kid's
draw
night.
the foul.
Right.
You
Correct.
know.
Why would he do that? Because that's the way you get disqualified.
Yep. And then he walks back into the ring and walks right into the Bro Derek.
Yes. 1,
which
2,
is
3.
the first time you'll see the same move tonight.
Right. Right.
You know?
Jeff Hardy and Renee Young are talking backstage. Oh, well, anyway.
Well,
Riddle goes over.
let me point out
and
one
we
bad
said
call
something else. Go ahead. What's
in the
up?
match. They said that Matt Riddle was going for the Bro Mission when he was just doing a regular rear naked choke. And the Bro Mission is a twister.
Oh, okay.
And it's a completely different move. And they were like, he's just doing a regular rear naked choke on him and stuff. I was just like, come on, guys.
Get it right.
Get it right.
Get it right. Where's Samoa Joe when I need him?
Yes.
Joe would have corrected him.
Joe would have.
Yeah, absolutely. But you know what? Michael Cole's going to get his anyway.
Yes, and he deserves every last bit of it.
He's getting it. Jeff Hardy and
Every
Renee
last
Young
for the last 10 years.
Yes.
go. Jeff goes deep into. Actually, the whole show is going deep into Jeff has to overcome his demons, and failure was the first thing that happened when he tried, not success.
Yes.
And they're going to let him dive deeper into that. I'm okay with it.
I'm okay with that. That
It's
story,
fine.
that's a good story. That's a more realistic story.
Yeah.
It's gritty.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
How do you deal with failure? It's easy. Success for people, struggling with this kind of stuff can be just as dangerous as failure, but failure hurts worse before you.
Right, and that's when you fail is when you, especially for, it seems like with him, his body hurting or some form of failure is what has led to his
Triggers.
downfalls.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So success wouldn't have been the same story at all. And we'll get to this more. Shorty G versus Mojo is next, and I thought this was a good little match, and Shorty G gets
I like
a
the
roll-up
little
win.
starter. I like the little start thing where he was like, Mojo doesn't know what it's like to be me. And then, Mojo's sitting over his shoulder, and he's like, he doesn't know what it's like to have eyes in the back of your head. Bam! And he hits him, and I was like, that was slick.
And
it's a good.
Shorty G is becoming an important part of the show.
He should be. The dude's an Olympic wrestler.
Yes. Yes, in a show that's about supposedly wrestling.
Wrestling.
Now, Mojo is also
Mojo's there.
doing well.
He just.
That Glacier uniform is nice.
That Glacier uniform is so bad. That's exact. I was
It doesn't
funnily
even-
enough. I was about to say the same thing.
It doesn't fit him. It's not his gimmick anymore.
No.
What
It
if,
didn't fit him when it was his gimmick.
think about this. What
He
if
needs a complete look revamp.
Mojo was in some form of
Just
long
a regular.
pants,
Yeah.
What if he was in just
t-shirt, tank top,
Uh huh.
pissed off, walks out there with a hat around backwards, whatever football team he used to play on,
Oh, that's perfect for him.
throws it on the ground. Shorty G comes out there in a Kurt Angle wrestling
Yes,
outfit.
like he used to wear.
How does that wrestling match look? Different?
Much better than it did.
as good as it was.
Well,
going
that's-
by the alleged name of Chad Gable.
Yeah. Well, and I love that in a match where Shorty G was, we're commenting on how bad Mojo Rawley's outfit is.
Mm-hmm.
That's how bad it is.
Right.
Because Shorty G
in
thing is so bad.
In Mojo's moveset isn't I should wear a unitard.
No.
He's a bruiser.
Yes.
And he's an athlete. He's a football player. There's he
mean-
should look like I came in here to get in a fist fight.
Yes.
And he acts like I came in here to get in a fist fight. So let him get in a fist fight. Like people
I
do.
wouldn't mind him in kind of the Dean Ambrose kind of
Absolutely.
look with a vest or something.
Zupas.
Wow. No.
Football player Zupas.
Oh, there you go. Those are awesome. Yes.
Pair of Sean Kemp Reebok high tops.
There you go. Exactly what I was thinking. That's the picture I wanted to
The
paint.
Boz haircut.
Dude, wow. Wow. What was that movie? Oh, what was the movie he was in? Stone Cold.
Stone cold. He was driving to Pensacola, Florida,
Yes.
with mountains in the background.
Yes.
I think they filmed it in San Diego.
I'm sure they did.
Okay, Miss TV wasn't a fair match at Backlash. They have a lot of excuses as to why 2-on-1 was not to their advantage.
No, and there's because they were really outnumbered. Because
Yes.
when you factor in Otis and somebody else,
The powers that be,
powers that be,
society in general.
society in general,
Yes.
and also they changed the rules. They changed the rules right before the match. What kind of junk was that?
They had already had a game plan.
Yeah.
Didn't have time to change it. It wasn't fair. Okay, so intro Mandy. And let's talk about Sonya. Oh, instead, let's just...
Oh, let's talk about.
Did you notice that you were did you ever notice that you were upstaging her? Did you ever think about what a bad friend you were?
and that she's so much better than you.
Yes. And then as she's going to walk off, they go, but wait, we have a surprise for you, Sonya. And Sonya comes out.
In the most pimp suit I have ever seen.
She looked like $1 million.
Looked awesome. I am such a Sonya mark right
Black
now.
vested suit, black tie, black shirt underneath.
Triple black.
Mm-hmm.
There's a reason that if
It
you want a
works.
mean looking car, you do triple black. If
Right.
you want anything to look badass, and that was exceptional. That was a tailored suit. It
Absolutely.
looked good. It was, it
Perfect.
did. It was yeah. She made Seth look a little. She gave I know you said it, but I think her suit's better than Seth's.
Well, how'd I put it?
And Seth's is like a 9. That was just a 10. That was an
Correct.
amazing.
Well, there's
good.
also the contradiction because she's a female, wearing the suit, giving it that boss feel, and the contrast to Mandy, who came out
in a halter top and
like she was in Greece.
yes,
Remember when?
very much. Yes, good
remember
call.
When Olivia Newton-John?
Yes, when she went bad.
At the fair.
Yes,
She rolls out.
Oh, that's excellent call. That is exactly. Now, my only problem with this whole segment was that Mandy Rose got her out of the ring.
Yes, fought her kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I will say this: Mandy's section of this promo was far better than I expected it to
Oh,
be.
it was
This was
good.
back and forth. It wasn't just
It was
Sonya.
good.
And when the thing was over, as much as I would have preferred Sonya to have pushed her out of the ring, when it was over, I thought to myself, "Is it possible?" Because I've been thinking for a month that Sonya's a star, and that Mandy goes away. I don't know that anymore. I'm starting to wonder.
Mandy's always had potential, but
I wonder, can they both be stars?
it's possible. But Mandy's just gotta. That was the best talking I think I've ever heard her done.
Well, I think she was telling the truth too.
That's what helped. It makes you better. Iron sharpens iron. When Sonya comes out there and throws her best game at her, and she has to come up to that, it makes you rise to the level.
Yeah.
And Sonya came out there and was just burning it down. She was
Right.
killing it, dude.
Right. But she was saying things we'd already heard before.
Yeah.
Whereas Mandy had time to.
Well,
kind of-
the cheap shots on. Oh, what have I been doing? I've been winning matches. What have you been doing? Oh, making out with Otis by a pool.
Right.
What is the thing?
Right.
What have I got to do to get what you got?
Right.
And the only thing I can identify is
The way you look.
the way you look.
Right. Whereas Mandy goes to at least Otis was there for me in a way that you never really were.
Yeah.
You know?
And why are you so jealous just because I got something?
Right.
I didn't ask for any of this. I just did the same work, and I just happened to get.
And of course, Sonya leaves out the little part about trying to sabotage the relationship.
Kevin.
Yes.
Why do you
that's
keep bringing up ancient history here?
ancient? Bailey and Sasha are here to
Oh my
announce a men's tag team match, which I thought was wonderful and creative. Lucha House Party New Day. We get a great match.
I love them just killing old Corey, dude. Corey's like
Absolutely.
sitting over there, all for like the New Day throw their gear at Corey, and then Sasha and Bailey sit over there and just kill him.
Right. And then we get Shinsuke and Cesaro.
Dude, it blows my mind that every time I see Cesaro on screen, it's like, that guy should be WWE champion.
Well, finally he's saying it too, and I liked that whole moment.
It was great. It was directed at the right guy because we know that Michael Cole is behind all of this.
Well, it also, you could argue, if you really wanted to play meta here, who's in Michael Cole's ear right now? Who's who really talking to? Am I
Real
talking?
positions is Vince.
And if I was a wrestler, I would see if they'd let me say that one time. I'd be like, when I'd come over there and start yelling, Mike Cole would say something like, why are you yelling at me? I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to the one in your ear.
Right.
I'm letting him know.
Which was kind of what he did, but yeah, that would be cool. That would
Yeah.
be cool. Also, though, there is a little bit of Michael has been the voice of the WWE now for 20 years.
Yes.
So in a way, you're still talking to the representative of the company.
Yeah.
And it worked perfectly. I love that Sasha were egging Cesaro and Shinsuke on. And
Yes.
when he was yelling at Cole, they were like, "Yeah, Cole, yeah. Why do you let him do this? Why do you let him do?" It was perfectly done. I loved Sasha being in the scenario.
Bailey is a heel, just keeps getting better and better.
Absolutely.
Instead of attacking this one point.
So what we have is the New Day winning but getting jumped, and
Oh,
Cesaro and
I think he
Shinsuke have
ate
a new move.
Oh yeah.
They comboed the swing and the.
In the Kinshasa.
It
I
looked
don't
brutal.
I don't know how safe you can do that.
I don't know.
You can't do it safely. You're
I don't think you can keep doing that. Like, I think Kofi was the only one willing to take that bump.
I don't know. It depends, because
well, you might if you did it with Big E, you might break Shinsuke's knee.
you'd get Big E killed. I think it's more likely, because that much weight, knee to head. Go watch some old Bob Sapp matches, and you'll see some very similar sequences to that one, when
Because-
somebody with an incredibly large head gets kneed.
Okay, so then we cut backstage and we have the ladies tag team picture right in front of us for this division with Naomi and Lacey Evans and Tamina and Dana Brooke and Bliss, and we don't know where Nikki is.
No, well,
where could Nikki be?
They're talking about how, the two girls out, Sasha and Baylor out there running everybody down, and everybody ought to do something about it. And finally, Litz goes, "Where's Nikki?
Right.
I knew where Nikki was. Nikki's gonna go do something about it."
Correct. Cut to Sheamus. He's reconsidering being a bully.
He likes it.
That's what I consider.
You deserve to be a bully.
I consider it to be great to be a bully.
I'm
Jeff deserves it because he's weak. And the weak should be picked on. That was a great heel promo.
He is one of the best bad guy, hater heels ever. He's really good.
Yeah. The contrast between him and his YouTube channel where he goes and works out with people.
Yeah, dude,
Night and day. He's such a nice guy.
Such a nice human being.
Yeah. But he's great in this role. Okay, Nikki we found out we know where Nikki is. She jumps the tag champs by herself.
By herself.
Bliss comes running out, separates them. Nikki jumps into the ring and challenges Sasha, to which Bayley jumps in the middle and says, "If you want a match with Sasha, I accept."
She takes our truth role here.
You can absolutely fight my friend.
Yeah.
No problem. And we get a great match because, like we said earlier,
And
Sasha is killing it right now.
And how many times in a bar have you seen that particular move happen? Because I've seen it numerous times. Well, if you think I'm going to put up with that, this guy's got something to say about that.
That's exactly why I hang. This guy that you think is an idiot, you're like, I don't understand how that guy can hang out with him. I hang out with him because he's loyal.
Yes.
It's the Shawn Michaels effect in relationships.
Yes.
My friend Diesel here is willing to fight you. My friend
Yes.
Sid here, I call him Psycho, is willing to fight you.
when he's not breaking Bray Wyatt's toys.
Yes. Okay, so then we get Sasha with a win here.
Oh, where she did the roll through and jumped and did the jumping meteor on her. It was slick.
Oh, yeah.
Sasha's just amazing. Nikki is amazing too. She's a great contrast.
And I love Sasha. And we got to watch her wrestle all week.
Uh-huh.
And we've been getting to watch her wrestle pretty much every episode of SmackDown. And she's in that role Scott Hall used to be in, where to get to Hogan, you got to beat up Scott. To get to Flair, you got to beat up Double A or Tully.
Mm-hmm.
Sasha being in that role is great because it's a new era in giving us great matches.
Yeah.
Which, don't get me wrong, Scott Hall was great matches and all that too. Aren't always. Tully was great. But that's the point. We're getting great matches from Sasha to set up feuds for Bayley. And I love it. I love it. Now.
I like, too, that they kind of hearken to when Bailey and Sasha were talking, and old Michael Cole kept trying to drop the whole "you never challenged for that championship. Why don't you, And Corey was like, "No, I've been trying this for 5 years. It doesn't work, Cole. You might as well quit." And they're like,
Yeah.
which makes you think it may work.
Right. Okay, now here we go. Bray Wyatt's Firefly Funhouse segment.
Finally,
Bray joined a book club while he was gone. He learned to
summon the dead.
Yeah, and then what did he do?
He did several wackily fun things.
He infiltrated a reptilian.
A reptilian base.
Nice.
I see you. And then he had the little third eye, reptilian eye.
That's very good. Then he learned to knit,
Yes.
which was good. And Bray interrupts because Bray interrupts every segment that's cool.
You mean Braun?
That's what I meant. Braun interrupts because Braun interrupts every segment that's cool.
Wait, is Rabbit come out yet?
Rabbit came out and said to him,
Hey, I don't remember you doing all that stuff. I remember you sitting in the corner and crying for a month. And then they did the little replay with the Rabbit doing the sound effects, and then he had him. I was dying, dude. Bray is so golden, man.
He is great. And then, of course, Braun says, we're done with each other. And he said, and then Bray comes in and says, hey, I wasn't lying about resurrecting the dead. And we get
The return
of the Swamp Man, the cult leader.
Oh, I like it. Now, is this is the story they do here that Braun has got to go through like a Matt Hardy almost? He's got to go through. He went through Bray. Now he's got to go through the cult leader, and then
He's got to go through the Fiend.
Fiend, the next evolution.
Right. Yeah, I like it.
But
I like it.
I think since there was Miz and Morrison in between Bray and the cult leader, I think there might be another wrestler in between when he
Could be, but the only reason they had to do that was because Mr. Rotunda, aka Bray Wyatt, had a kid, and he wanted to spend like a month at home with his brand new child.
Nah.
So
I love it. I love getting. I'm always gonna miss if Bray comes up with a fourth character. I'll always miss the other three.
Mm-hmm.
I loved. He's got the whole world in his hands.
Yes.
It's such a shame there aren't crowds.
Yes.
Because it would be so cool for a crowd at a SummerSlam to get to do the Firefly entrance.
Yes.
And all that. That's a shame. But anyway, that's the life we live. This was a great episode.
I had fun. A lot of fun
I
with
did.
it.
I had a good week watching
Sports entertainment.
Ray, you good?
Yeah.
Nice. For Justin, for Ray, for me, KP, this has been a Go Home Heat production. Copyright 2020. Go home.
Go home.